Okay, welcome. Today is March 17th, 2026, and this is War Update Day 18 of Iran versus the US and Israel. Let's get right into it as usual. And let's start with CENTCOM, since CENTCOM is the military currently in charge of the war. So let's get right into what CENTCOM has. They have a video showing U.S. sailors hard at work, and let's start with that video.
Hands up, thumbs up, see these guys military. Next steady, fire.
All right. And that's our first update from CENTCOM. All right. We got another fact check from Central Command. Iran's IRGC claims it recently destroyed several U.S. fighter jets based in the region using missiles and drones. Lie. No U.S. fighter jets have been struck by Iran. In fact, U.S. Navy, Air Force, and Marine Corps fighter aircraft continue to demonstrate unmatched lethality. So that's a fact check. We have no aircraft that have been shot down. All right. We also have another update from CENTCOM as of today. Operation Epic Fury. The overview: U.S. Central Command commenced Operation Epic Fury against Iran at the direction of the President of the United States on February 28th, 2026 at 1:15 a.m. CENTCOM forces are striking targets to dismantle the Iranian regime's security apparatus, prioritizing locations that pose an immediate threat. And so far, the number of targets struck: 7,000. Combat flights, 6,500 plus. Iranian vessels damaged or destroyed, 100 plus. U.S. assets employed as of March 16th, 2026. For aircraft, we have B-1 bombers, we have B-2 stealth bombers, we have B-52 bombers, we have F-18 fighter jets, we have F-22 stealth fighters, F-35 stealth fighters, F-16 fighter jets, A-10 attack jets, F-15 fighter jets, E-18G electronic warcraft aircraft, EC-130H electronic warfare aircraft, U-2 reconnaissance aircraft, RC-135 reconnaissance aircraft, E-11-8 communications aircraft, C-17 Globemaster cargo aircraft, C-130 cargo aircraft, KC-135 refueling aircraft, KC-46 refueling aircraft, KC-130 Hercules tankers, 8H-64 Apache helicopters, MH-60 Seahawk helicopters, V-22 Osprey tilt rotor aircraft, E-2 airborne early warning and aircraft. So as you can see, we have a lot of aircraft in the airspace. For C, we have nuclear powered aircraft carriers. We have nuclear powered submarines. We have guided missile destroyers, refueling and supply ships. And for the land, we have Patriot interceptor missile systems, THAAD anti-missile systems, M142 high mobility rocket systems, and counter drone systems. All right. And the type of targets we have been striking as of March 16, 2026 from CENTCOM, the current command leading the war. We have been striking command and control centers, IRGC headquarters buildings, IRGC intelligence sites, integrated air defense systems, ballistic missile sites, Iranian Navy ships and submarines, Iranian air defense systems, anti ship missile sites, military communication capabilities, ballistic missile and drone manufacturing, weapons production and storage bunkers, surface to air missile facilities, military support infrastructure. All right. And that is an update from CENTCOM as of March 16, 2026. Let's keep going. CENTCOM has been very active today. Hundreds of U.S. fighter jets are part of the largest regional concentration of American military firepower in a generation. And we have a cool picture of the aircraft. Okay. And we have released more images of more strikes. Let's get into it. There is no volume. And we look like a launcher, striking launchers, rocket stockpiles. Look like another launcher. Right? And from CENTCOM. And we have an update from the commander of CENTCOM. We do have an update from Admiral Cooper. So let's get into it.
Hi, I'm Admiral Brad Cooper, the commander of U.S. Central Command, here to provide another update on Operation Epic Fury. First, I want to remember and honor our fallen warriors who made the ultimate sacrifice in the KC-135 refueling aircraft incident last week. We hold their memories and their families, their friends and their teammates in our prayers. Their selfless service and dedication hardens our resolve. For 16 days, we've delivered overwhelming firepower deep into Iran. This past Friday, U.S. forces executed a large-scale precision strike on Karg Island, destroying more than 90 Iranian military targets, including storage bunkers for naval mines and missiles and other military infrastructure. To date, our Air Force, Navy, and Marine Corps aviators have collectively flown more than 6,000 combat flights, demonstrating the unmatched capability of America's joint force as we maintain air superiority over Iranian skies. We continue to remain centered on our military objectives. These are well-defined and include eliminating Iran's ballistic missiles, drones, and naval threats. It's one thing to defend by striking launchers and intercepting missiles and drones, but it's another thing to eliminate the wider manufacturing apparatus behind them. And we are doing that today. We've talked about it in concept. Here's what it looks like in reality. Let me show you, for the first time, a few examples of how we are dismantling Iran's defense industrial base, which will prevent threats to the region into the future. Here you see a photo from March 1st of a naval drone storage facility located near the Strait of Hormuz. This is the same location 8 days later, completely destroyed. Next, here's a photo taken of an attack drone production factory in Tehran on March 5th. Here's that same factory 6 days later after a devastating barrage of U.S. airstrikes. And finally, the Yazdi military depot, pictured here last month. These 8 buildings are part of the IRGC's missile command infrastructure and are used to produce light and heavyweight torpedoes. Now, here's that same military depot just last week, or what's left of it. U.S. and partner strikes are doing exactly what they are intended to do: deliver on very clear military objectives to eliminate Iran's ability to project power against Americans and against its neighbors. We're also zeroed in on dismantling Iran's decades-old threat to the free flow of commerce through the Strait of Hormuz. Through a combination of air, land, and maritime capabilities, we have successfully destroyed over 100 Iranian naval vessels, and we aren't done. We will continue to rapidly deplete Iran's ability to threaten freedom of navigation in and around the Strait of Hormuz. Our progress remains steady and we remain vigilant against the enemy. Now, a few thoughts about Iran. Over the last 2 weeks, they have launched attacks on Oman, Saudi Arabia, Israel, Jordan, Cyprus, Turkey, Azerbaijan, the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Iraq, Kuwait, and Bahrain. In each of these countries, they are deliberately attacking innocent civilians. They've done this more than 300 times, which demonstrates their true nature as a global leader of terror. In just the last few days, the Iranian regime launched a reckless attack against civilian neighborhoods in Tel Aviv with cluster bombs, an inherently indiscriminate type of munition. We join countries across the region in condemning this aggression, and we stand shoulder to shoulder with our partners in bolstering our own defenses. In sum, I will reinforce what I've said before. Iran's capabilities are declining as our capabilities and advantages continue to build. And finally, I'd like to talk about the extraordinary 50,000 Americans who are deployed across the region executing this vital mission. It's long been my belief that every success we have begins and ends with our people. And today I'd like to recognize our unsung heroes, the sustainers enabling America's joint force to unleash this devastating firepower 24/7. To be clear, there's no other military on earth that does logistics like the U.S. military, and our team is at the top of their game today. They're managing distribution networks that span thousands of miles to ensure that munitions, fuel, and supplies reach warfighters on the front line on time, every time. To all our sustainers and logisticians, thank you and keep up the great work. And to the entire Operation Epic Fury team, keep pushing, remain steady, fight to win. Thanks so much and Godspeed.
Okay, that was Admiral Cooper with the update from CENTCOM as of today. And CENTCOM has released more footage. Fighter jets taking off. All right, that's CENTCOM, and that is the updates for CENTCOM. Let's get into some of the latest other news that we got. Let's go. Right. All right, we have a message from Benjamin Netanyahu. Supposedly, everyone's been saying he's dead, and apparently he's not dead, unless if this is more AI videos. Let's hear what he has to say.
To the brave people of Iran, I wish you, as I do every year, a happy holiday season beginning with the Festival of Lights. It signifies the age-old belief of the Iranian people that light will triumph over darkness, that good will triumph over evil. This year, this holiday has special meaning. Celebrate it with your friends, your family, your loved ones. I take this opportunity to wish you a happy Nowruz, a year of freedom, a new beginning of hope to all of you, my dear friends. Nowruz Piruz, Payande Iran.
Yo, bro, you at war with their country and you wishing the people you bombing the schools and the hospitals the same Gaza treatment, and you think that they want to hear wishes from you out of all people. That is just funny, man. I'm sorry, bro. Nobody is like Netanyahu. Bro don't care. He truly don't care. All right. So as you don't know, Trump has asked for a coalition to help in the Hormuz Strait, and supposedly India has deployed their navy. Oh my God, what is that? With some Indian music. So we got India heading to the Hormuz Strait to ensure that Indian ships and cargo and oil gets through. India already betrayed Iran, but that's another story that I'm not going to get into. But I guess Iran don't want to afford beef with another country, so they might just let India slide. But India has been passing intel to Israel because India and Israel are allies. But if you know, you know. All right, we have Mark Carney apparently going viral. The United States and Israel have acted without engaging the United Nations or consulting allies, including Canada. America under Trump has officially lost its role in the world. And let's hear what Mark Carney has to say, the Canadian president.
The United States and Israel have acted without engaging the United Nations or consulting allies, including Canada. So where to from here? With a rapidly spreading conflict and growing threats to civilian life. Canada reaffirms that international law binds all belligerents. We condemn the strikes carried out by Iran on civilians and civilian infrastructure across the Middle East. And we implore all parties, including the United States and Israel, to respect the rules of international engagement. Canada calls for a rapid de-escalation of hostilities and is prepared to assist in achieving this goal. The United States and Israel have acted with...
All right, so we have the Canada's Mark Carney stating that the United States and Israel have acted without the United Nations or consulting allies. All right, moving right along. We have an update from the UAE. Their defenses did not hold for long, proven ineffective. No one expected such weakness and total collapse. Today, we see all of UAE infrastructure being destroyed before the eyes of the president of the UAE. And we have a new strike.
I can't tell you how hot it is. Someone close the window. The cars, yeah, they have to move the car.
So UAE is still getting strike because the United States is still launching attacks from the UAE, and Iran did report that the attack that happened a few days ago on Kark Island, if everyone recall, some of that attack emanated, if not most, from UAE. So this is Iran punishing UAE. Okay. We have President Trump talking about B-2 bombers. Let's get into it.
And if these gorgeous B-2 bombers, give me that bomber, Andrew. Let me just hug that little sucker. Give me that bomber over there. Thank you. You knew immediately which one. This looks small, but in person it's very big. Because it's the only plane capable of carrying a 200,000-pound bomb. So I don't know how they do it, because it's very sleek and nice, but it carries a lot of weapons and there's a lot of bombs. But had I not sent this incredible machine, times numerous others, to hit Iran at midnight with no moon, dead dark, every single bomb was dropped right down the chute that it was supposed to hit. How they do it, who knows? Nobody else can figure. No other country can do it. No other country has our military or even close. And I think we've probably proven that with Venezuela and now with because we have done a number in Iran. But if I didn't do that, if I didn't decimate, I call it their nuclear dust, they would have had a nuclear weapon within 1 month after that bombing took place. And they would have used it on first Israel and then the Middle East. And you know that because all of those missiles that were launched against their neighbors were set long ago, long before they knew they would be using.
All right, we got Donald Trump talking about B-2 bombers, getting right along into the war update for today. We got more craziness from Donald Trump talking crazy.
I do believe I'll be the honor of having the honor of taking Cuba. That'd be good. That's a big honor.
Taking Cuba.
Taking Cuba in some form, yeah. Taking Cuba. I mean, whether I free it, take it, I think I could do anything I want with it. You want to know the truth? They're a very weakened nation right now. I do believe I'll be the honor.
Bro, that's insane. Like only in America, man. I don't know where people from, but only in America. Only in America.
Of having the honor of taking Cuba. That'd be good. That's a big honor.
Taking Cuba.
Taking Cuba in some form, yeah. Taking Cuba. I mean, whether I free it, take it, I think I could do anything I want with it. You want to know the truth? They're a very weakened nation right now. All
right, so taking Cuba, doing whatever the hell he want with it. President United States. We got more from Trump. Trump is going hard today, y'all. Trump is going crazy with the clips.
Much more, only because people don't understand to a large. It's a big chess game at a very high level. It's a very high level chess, the highest. And I'm dealing with very smart players. These are smart people. They don't get there. You know, when you deal with some of these people, you're dealing with high level intellect, very high IQ people. Much more. Only
all right,
people
so we
don't
got
understand.
Trump talking about Iran, realizing now, 3 weeks into the war, that they're not dumb and rural people and stupid and they don't know how to fight. 3 weeks in, if you're listening closely, oh shit, they're actually smart. They have smart people there. They know what they're doing. Persia, dude, we all heard of Persia before. Like long before America existed, Persia existed. And we don't even got to know the history. And we all heard Persia. Crazy. All right. Moving right along with our commander-in-chief, the head of the military. Let's see what he got to say today. He's on a roll.
If Iran, as you said, totally obliterated, got the missiles, got the first 2 rounds of leadership, Air Force gone, Navy gone, can we wrap this war up this week?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Will we?
I don't think so, but it'll be soon. Won't be long. And we're going to have a much safer world when it's wrapped up. It'll be wrapped up soon. We're going to have a much safer world. I had an obligation to do this. I didn't want to, I called it an excursion. I didn't want to make this journey. We had the highest stock market in history. We had low gas prices. Everything was good. And I know exactly, I know what, you're going to do it. And people are going to raise the price of oil, and that's good. But I know that. But that's a very small thing compared to allowing them to have. You want to see a stock market go down? Start letting them hit you with nukes, okay?
If Iran, as you said,
Trump
totally
is
obliterated.
out of control, man. That's my president, though. All right, Trump. And he's not done. Trump is not done. He is on a he has been going ham today, y'all.
From Hormuz, the Strait. Hormuz, a famous, wonderful, beautiful place, but you wouldn't want to be necessarily sailing a boat there right now.
I would not.
Okay, you know why? Not because of them, because of us. Because we've taken out their entire Navy. We've taken out every one of their drone, they call it a drone layer, a mine layer. There's specific boats that from...
All right, so we got Trump calling the Strait of Hormuz very beautiful. It's a very beautiful strip. Oh, man. All right, so we got news from the Iranian foreign minister from the side we're at war with. And we have a translation, and I will read the translation. I'm pretty sure it's in Arabic. When we say we don't want a ceasefire, it's not because we're seeking war. It's because the war must end in a way that ensures our enemy never again think of repeating these attacks and aggression. And I think they have already learned a valuable lesson. They have realized what kind of nation they are dealing with, one that won't hesitate to defend itself. and is ready to take this fight as far as necessary. Oh, we got the foreign minister with strong, feisty words there. Okay. All right, we got more from President Trump. I've been saying for a long time, this is the greatest thing to come out of this. We spend trillions and trillions of dollars on NATO to defend other countries. So Trump is mad. We spend trillions and trillions on other countries to defend NATO. But when he called for the allies to send their naval ships, they all said no. They all was like, no, we're not coming. But let's get into what the president has to say.
We have 45,000 troops in Japan. We have 45,000 troops in South Korea. We have 45,000, 50,000 troops in Germany. We defend all these countries. And then, do you have any minesweepers? And they say, well, would it be possible for us not to get involved? I've been saying it for a long time. This is the greatest thing to come out of this. We spend trillions and trillions of dollars on NATO to defend other countries. And I always said, but if it ever comes time to defend us, they're not going to be there. Many of them would not be there. And we're going to have to start thinking more wisely in this country. Some have been very good. One or two have been great. I'll tell you who the great ones are at the right time. But there have been some that were right up there, Peter. They were right up there. They wanted to do it so much. Go ahead, Peter.
Thank you. You were talking.
We have...
All right, so we got Trump pissed off at Japan, pissed off at countries in Europe, just pissed off at everyone that's not coming to help us fight the war. Everyone not named Israel, he's pissed off at. UK, Japan, China. China's our enemy. They know you're doing this ultimately but to hurt them and bricks for the oil, but the psychology did not work. All right. So we got J.D. Vance with the statement today. Let's get into what the vice president has to say.
Look, I think that I know what you're trying to do, Phil. You're trying to drive a wedge between members of the administration, between me and the president. What the president said consistently, going back to 2015, and I agreed with him, is that Iran should not have a nuclear weapon. We have taken this military action under the president's leadership. I think all of us, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, should pray for success and pray for the safety of our troops. That's the approach that I've taken. Make it as successful as possible.
So there's no hesitation, given your past statements, with the current operation?
What do you mean there's no hesitation with my past statements?
Given your skepticism of foreign adventurism, you were a critic of the global war on terror previously.
Well, I think one big difference, Phil, is that we have a smart president, whereas in the past we've had dumb presidents. And I trust President Trump to get the job done, to do a good job for the American people, and to make sure that the mistakes in the past aren't repeated. Absolutely.
Thanks, sir. Look, JD's been great, but here's the simple thing, and I have, some people, I don't want wars. I want wars less than...
The best way to boost Trump ego is by calling all the other presidents dumb and calling him smart. It's the reason he is the vice president. He knows exactly how to be a vice president to Trump, and that's glaze him up. That's exactly what we just heard. Everyone is dumb and Trump is smart. Wow. Okay. Moving right along, we got more updates from the POTUS. We don't just have to start calling him POTUS, man.
Our powerful military campaign to end the threats posed by the Iranian regime continued in full force over the past few days. They have been literally obliterated. The Air Force is gone. The Navy is gone. Many, many ships have been sunk. They're warfighting ships, but I guess they didn't know how to use them. And anti-aircraft is decimated, their radar is gone, and their leaders are gone. Other than that, they're doing quite well. They've been a terror for 47 years, and now I guess the world, through the United States, with the help of Israel, is doing what should have been done many years ago. Should have been done many years ago. Since the beginning of the conflict, we've struck more than 7,000 targets across Iran, and these have been mostly commercial and military targets. We've achieved a 90% reduction in their ballistic missile launches and a 95% reduction in drone attacks. The missiles are trickling in now at very low levels because they don't have too many missiles left. We've also attacked the manufacturing plants, where the places where they manufacture the missiles and the drones, and that's going on today. We just hit 3 of them today. And it's getting very hard for them to manufacture. More than 100 Iranian naval vessels have been sunk or destroyed over the last week and a half. That has to be some kind of a record. Additional strikes continue to launch from all directions every single hour. And as you know, we attacked Karg Island and knocked it literally, destroyed everything on the island except for the area where the oil is. I call it the pipes. We left the pipes. We didn't want to do that, but that we will do that. We can do that on 5 minutes notice. It'll be over.
All right, we got Trump still talking shit, how we decimated Iran and how there's basically nothing left of them. Okay. So, all right, we got more updates from President Trump, more sound bites from President Trump.
Our powerful military campaign to end the threats posed by the Iranian regime continued in full force over the past few days. They have been literally obliterated. The Air Force is gone. The Navy is gone. Many, many ships have been sunk. They're warfighting ships, but I guess they didn't know how to use them.
All right. All right. Now we have the latest battlefield statistics from the Iranian side to give us a better idea of what's going on, and we have a translation available.
عرض کنم خدمتتون موشک‌هایی که شلیک شده ترکیبی از موشک‌های سوخت جو.
Okay, I guess I'm not gonna have to read it. I guess it's in Arabic. The missiles that have been launched are a mix of liquid and solid fuel missiles, long and medium range. About 700 missiles have been launched so far, in total against both American and Zionist regime targets. We have used 3,600 different drones up to the 15th day of the war. The number of dead, wounded American and Zionists is around 5,000 people. Few days ago, Ministry of Health announced more than 3,000 just in occupied territories. They usually do not announce the number of dead. They only announce the total number of wounded, brain trauma, whereas we believe at least 1/3 of them are dead. It is well pointed out that the number of the brain trauma cases has increased. The number of various drones shot down so far, Hermes, Haran, and various other drones, is 118. Okay? All right. We have Ben Shapiro. President Trump is doing the bravest thing I have ever seen American president do when it comes to foreign policy. So we have Ben Shapiro with a message. Let's see what he has to say.
I mean, I think that it's unbelievably short-sighted. Obviously, when you're talking about threats to America, you're not just talking about threats directly to the American homeland. You're talking about threats to American interests in the region, in Europe. The idea that you are supposed to wait until they have ICBMs tipped with nuclear weapons to actually do something is absolute idiocy. I think what President Trump has done here, which is truly genius, is he has recognized that you don't wait until the threat is right upon you. You use targets of opportunity. And the reality is that because the Iranian regime was incredibly weakened by the 12-day war last year, because they did not have the capacity to deter oversight from the IAF and from the American Air Force, because the Iranian regime was experiencing significant financial crisis, and because millions of people were in the streets just a few weeks ago, that was a time when the United States could move to finally neutralize a threat that has actually threatened Americans, including creating the death of at least hundreds, if not thousands, of Americans over the course of the last 47 years. I've said it before, I'll say it again. The president right here is doing the bravest thing that I've ever seen an American president do when it comes to foreign policy. And you'll have second guessers like Ro Khanna suggesting everything would have been hunky-dory if nothing had been done here. But those same people have been saying the same thing as Iran spreads its terror tentacles all over the Middle East and abroad.
We got Ben Shapiro, as usual, advocating for Israel. And long as President Trump is at war, then he's happy. All right. We have President Trump was stunned to learn that U.S. intelligence indicates new Iranian Supreme Leader Mojab Khamenei may be gay. Whoa, okay.
President Trump was stunned to learn that U.S. intelligence indicates new Iranian Supreme Leader Mojtaba Khamenei may be gay, and that his father, the late Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, feared his suitability to rule the Islamic Republic for that reason, the Post can reveal. Trump couldn't contain a surprise and laughed aloud when he was briefed on the intel, according to sources. Others in the room also found it, quote, hilarious, and joined the president's reaction, while one senior intelligence official has not stopped laughing about it for days, said one person familiar with the briefing. The shocking claim was described to the Post by two intelligence community officials and a third person close to the White House. All three sources say the implausible-sounding allegation is viewed as credible by U.S. spy agencies. Two of the sources said the intelligence indicates that Mojtaba has had a long-term sexual relationship with his childhood tutor. The third source said the intelligence indicated the affair was with a person who formerly worked for the Khamenei family. Mojtaba, who is believed to have been wounded in the same February 28th airstrike that killed his father and other members of his family, has made aggressive sexual overtures to men caring for him, possibly while under the influence of heavy medication, one of the Post sources said. U.S. spy agencies do not have photographic evidence of the 56-year-old's alleged sexual attraction to men, but the sources insisted the tip is solid, with one...
I don't know about all that, man. I know Trump. There's no way Trump said that. Brick. Trump says no one expected them to attack the Gulf states. So you're shocked that Iran attacked you from the places you're attacking them from? You're using the Gulf states to attack them. What? No, he didn't say that. It's got to be fake news.
Iran, who's truly a nation of great terror and power. Look what happened in the last 2 weeks. They weren't supposed to go after all these other countries in the Middle East. Those missiles were set to go after them. So they hit Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Bahrain, Kuwait. Nobody expected that. We were shocked. And the other one, they fought back. They could have yielded. But think of it, if we weren't around, they had tremendous power. They had thousands of missiles, most of which we've terminated. They had thousands of drones. They were making drones and missiles all over the place. We've knocked out most of those factories. I mean, now they're sending out 2 or 3 missiles. Now, they've still got some. They might have 8% left. But mostly they've been eliminated. They've been terminated by what we did and what Israel did too.
Wow. You wasn't. You know what? God bless America. I mean, people live in Ukraine. You wouldn't think they live in Ukraine. No way he shitted on Ukraine in the same interview. But knowing Trump, that's...
I mean, people live in Ukraine. You would think they wouldn't live in Ukraine, but they live in Ukraine. I don't know that I'd do that, but they live in Ukraine. They live in Lebanon. Hezbollah is a big problem, and they're rapidly being eliminated. I mean, people live in Ukraine.
Okay.
You would think they...
Okay. Moving right along. We have Denmark's Prime Minister We managed to stand firmly because of our friends in Europe and our partners outside, especially you, Mark Carney. We face totally unacceptable pressure from the U.S. and the U.S. president. So we got Denmark's president.
I am very grateful, I have to say this, for all the help we have received in the Kingdom of Denmark, Greenland and Denmark. We have had a totally unacceptable pressure from US and the US president. It has been very difficult for the people in Greenland to experience this. And one of the reasons why we have been able to stand firmly on very common values, that you have to respect sovereign states, that you have to respect a people's right for self-determination, is because of our good friends in the Nordic countries, in Europe, but also with partners outside, especially you, Mark. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for that.
So Trump just pissing off all our partners, man. Denmark and Greenland. Okay. We have John Bolton accidentally exposing the truth. The only coalition that wanted war with Iran was the U.S. and Israel. He admits they failed to convince NATO or any other allies to join them before launching the attack, leaving America isolated. All right, let's get into John Bolton.
Well, you know, normally you build a coalition of the willing before you go to war. I mean, that's just a tip from somebody who's been there. Our coalition was the U.S. and Israel. I'm great with that coalition, but we should have gone to NATO members, not to tell them the operational details or the timing, but to say, look, we're going to take serious action here. It's time for this regime to go. You are threatened by Iran's nuclear capabilities and aspirations. You are threatened by Iran's terrorist activities. We want you in this with us. Now, maybe we wouldn't have gotten all of NATO, but if we had worked the issue, it's at least possible that we would have gotten some from the outset, and as things developed during the last 2+ weeks, we could have brought them in later. But none of that preparation was done, and we're now seeing the downside. And I tell you, tweeting out or saying in a press release you want China to help you open the strait is not the way to do this. This is what quiet diplomacy may succeed at, no guarantees, but you don't get it by publicly demanding that they come in.
All right, so Trump pissed off still. We didn't get that coalition. And we have a meme, Sir Trump out at you on national television. All right. So we have an update in English from the Iranian spokesperson, apparently. He's speaking English.
A message to the President of the United States. The outcome of war cannot be determined by tweets. The result of a war is determined in the field, the very place where you and your forces do not dare to approach, and you can only talk about it in your tweets. It's better to name this war as epic fear instead of epic fury. A message to the President of...
So we got the Iranian spokesperson taking shots saying you just tweet in Twitter fingers, and instead of Operation Epic Fury, Operation Epic Fear. So we have Iranians standing up. And we have another update from our president, Trump.
I will say this, nobody's seen him, which is unusual.
Something else. Now that you've announced that the U.S. has destroyed all of Iran's mine-laying ships, why can't the U.S. just immediately reopen the Strait of Hormuz?
Well, we could, but it takes two to tango. We have to get people to take their billion-dollar ship and you know, drive it up. If when Pepe has his big sugar ships coming around and they cost $1 billion, and we say, I think it's okay now, Pepe, take your ship, drive it through the Strait of Hormuz. He may say, let me wait a little while, because it takes ship owners, and you know, these ships are very expensive. They can cost up to $2 billion. So they don't want to take a chance that, gee, I think you'll be okay. They got to know it. So they don't have to set, you know, we don't know if they even set any mines. But the thought that they may have is enough to keep people from saying, we don't need it.
All right. Another update from the commander-in-chief. All right. We got U.S. reporter versus the foreign minister of Iran again. And apparently she was questioning why you have internet when the rest of your people don't have internet. And apparently he made her look stupid once again.
I just do want to point out, you're speaking to us via Zoom. The Iranian people don't have open internet access, but you do. Why?
Well, because I'm the voice of Iranians, and I have to defend their right. So this is why I have access to internet to just have our voice being heard by the international community. But internet is closed because of the security reasons, because we are under attack, we are under aggression, and we have to do everything to protect our people. In any country, there are, urgent measures taken for the sake of war.
I just do want to point out, you're speaking to.
All right, we got Tucker Carlson and Ted Cruz, a past interview they had. And let's just get right into this. I think we have seen this before.
How many people live in Iran, by the way?
I don't know the population.
At all?
No, I don't know the population.
You don't know the population of the country you seek to topple?
How many people live in Iran?
92 million.
Okay. Yeah.
How could you not know that?
I don't sit around memorizing population tables.
Well, it's kind of relevant because you're calling for the overthrow of the government.
Why is it relevant whether it's, it's 90 million or 80 million or 100 million? Why is that relevant?
Because if you don't know anything about the country...
I didn't say I don't know anything about
Okay, what's the ethnic mix of Iran?
They are Persians and
What percent?
predominantly Shia. Okay, this is
no,
cute.
it's not
Okay.
even... You don't know anything about Iran. So
okay,
actually,
I am not
country...
the Tucker Carlson expert on Iran.
You're a
who
senator
says,
who's calling for the overthrow of the government.
You're the one
you
who
don't know
claims
anything about the country.
No, you don't know anything about the country. You're the one who claims they're not trying to murder Donald Trump. You're the
I'm
one
not saying that.
who can't figure out
I'm
if it was a good idea to kill General Soleimani, and you said it was bad.
You don't believe they're trying to murder Trump.
Yes, I do.
Because you're not calling for military strikes against them in retaliation. And if you really believe that...
We're carrying out military strikes today.
You said Israel was.
Right, with our help. I said we. Israel is leading them, but we're supporting them.
Well, you're breaking news here because the U.S. government last night denied, the National Security Council spokesman Alex Pfeiffer denied on behalf of Trump that we were acting on Israel's behalf in any offensive capacity.
No, we're not
at all.
bombing them. Israel's bombing them.
You just said we were.
We are supporting
This is
Israel.
high stakes. You're a senator. If you're saying the United States government is at war with Iran right now, people are listening.
Okay.
Man, Tucker peeped him from last year, man. Crazy. All right. We got U.S. soldiers capturing the life of a soldier. A lot of people haven't been soldiers. I guess this is them getting hyped up, getting ready for war, getting ready to deploy in their own zone. And I guess Marines maybe got their deployment orders hyped up, ready to go. Bunch of 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds. That was me at one point, ready to go, not knowing what the fuck I was actually doing or why I was doing it. Can't believe it. All right, we got Professor John Mearsheimer. Trump was surprised that after he sent that armada to the Middle East, that the Iranians did not throw up their hands and capitulate. In light of what happened in Venezuela, he thought he could float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. All right, let's get into Professor John Mearsheimer.
Important piece of information I can give you, Tom, to support the second view is that Steve Witkoff said right before the war started that President Trump was surprised that after he sent the armada to the Middle East, that the Iranians did not throw up their hands and capitulate.
That tells you that President Trump was expecting the Iranians to be coerced into accepting a deal short of war. But of course, they never accepted the deal that President Trump wanted. And at that point, given how hard Prime Minister Netanyahu was pushing him to go to war, and given the extent to which President Trump is joined at the hip with the Israelis, he felt that he had no choice but to go. And I would note the Israelis were surely telling him this would be a quick and decisive victory. And in light of what happened in Venezuela, he thought he could float like a butterfly and sting like a bee and so forth and so on. So he attacked. But I think that's the more likely story. And if that is correct, then you can see why he didn't prepare the American people. And indeed, you can see why he went to war when only about 20% of the American people favored a war.
Professor John Mearsheimer, dropping knowledge, dropping facts. All right, we have Trump admitting maybe we shouldn't be there at all. We have a lot of oil. So we got Trump admitting maybe we shouldn't be at war with Iran. Very bad audio.
You could make the case that maybe we shouldn't even be there at all because we don't need it. We have a lot of oil. We're the #1 producer anywhere in the world times 2. By double, at least double. Now I think it's much higher than that. But we do it. It's almost like we do it for habit. But we also do it for some very good allies.
So basically, Trump said maybe we shouldn't even be there. He realizing the backlash. He realizing when he called for the allies, everyone's saying no. We got like 14, 15 dead service members, and no one's really happy about the war because it doesn't benefit our life here. It only benefits Israel, I guess, at the end of the day. So that's why I guess Americans are pissed. All right. A reminder of one of the most damaging U.S. intelligence betrayals in recent decades. Former U.S. Air Force technical sergeants and counterintelligence specialist Monica Witt converted to Islam 2012, a trip to IRGC-linked conference in Iran. Defected to Iran in 2013, where she reportedly provided classified intelligence to Iranian authorities. All right, let's get into it.
Force intelligence specialist who defected to Iran against the U.S. now. She's been charged with espionage. Monica Witt worked for the Air Force and then as a contractor. She's now tonight accused of betraying the U.S. and her former colleagues. Did she reveal missions? Did she reveal officers' names? Here's ABC's Chief Global Affairs correspondent Martha Raddatz tonight.
It is an extraordinary espionage indictment. Monica Witt, a former Air Force counterintelligence specialist, not only charged with spying, but defecting to Iran. The Texas native accused of revealing highly classified Pentagon programs that the FBI said today could cause serious damage to national security. In addition, according to the indictment, Witt identified former colleagues to Iranian intelligence.
She blew the cover of all her counterintelligence colleagues and put them in mortal danger.
The FBI said her motive was ideological, texting a contact saying, "I am endeavoring to put the training I received to good use instead of evil." Later texting that, "I just may go public with the program and do like Snowden."
Damn. Wow. Never heard of her before. Wow. Okay, that was Tech Sergeant Monica Witt. Wow. Okay. All right. We got some footage of what it's like. You're driving down a road. We all just have been traveling down the road, and all of a sudden Iran bombed where we was, or we was in war. So imagine if you was out walking, that bomb hit pretty far away, and that's probably not even one of the biggest bombs, just maybe one time, whatever. And look at the back glass where it came back. Pretty crazy if you think about it. Living through this. Imagine you walking on the street or you in a car with your kids or your family, your daughter, your mom, or the closest person you love, your pet. Boom. Shrapnel could have came through the window. Boom, dead. Total black. Crazy. Damn. Yo, that's insane. That's absolutely insane. Holy. Okay, we have Israeli Minister Eli Cohen wants to cancel 2022 maritime gas agreement with Lebanon, pointing out that Tel Aviv needs the entire Kana gas field, which is currently being shared with Lebanon. So we have a map here. We have Israel. Line 1 is registered with Israel and the United Nations. And line 23 is located with Lebanon. So they share this line right here. And Israel like, no, Lebanon, we taking that from you. They're going to cut their oil off. Damn. We have a video with paratroopers saying, imagine IRGC waking up the paratroopers, which I was an airborne paratrooper. So I have a lot of love for the airborne. Man. Airborne every day. All right, we got Netanyahu defies Trump, striking Iranian oil. New York Times reports. Trump warned him, don't hit the oil tanks. Too risky, too escalatory. Netanyahu did it anyway, betting on chaos, betting on Tehran burning. The student just slapped the master. The ally just ignored the ally. This is what desperation looks like. Netanyahu needs a win, needs a reaction, needs the U.S. dragged deeper. Trump wants an off-ramp. Netanyahu wants inferno. The oil burns. The strait burns. The alliance burns. One leader wants out. The other wants forever. Chaos in Tehran. Maybe chaos in Tel Aviv. Already there. Chaos in Washington just beginning. Netanyahu defied Trump. History will remember who started this and who tried to stop it. All right. So, and let's get to the video of the strike on the refinery in Iran. And that is the attack on the oil refinery. Moving right along. will complete the stream for today. I want to thank everyone for joining the stream, and I hope you have a blessed day and have a wonderful night.